Hi, I'm Elisabeth Arruda. I'm a part-time lecturer in the Women's and Gender Studies department. I'm part of a IBIS project with thinking more about blended learning and integrating, in many ways, my courses into a traditional face-to-face class. And I want to talk a little bit about group tools today, in particular, and how a person can use group tools, why I used it, and some of my reflections so far. So what was the idea behind this? Essentially, one of the first things students say when I say, it was a big group project, they say, oh no, I hate working in groups, right? They're afraid that one person's going to do all the work and other folks won't, and sure, that still happens. But one of the things that I really liked about using these online tools was the transparency for me about who was doing what, who's holding up their end, who's not holding up their end. And especially for me, it's really important that I was able to help shape, for example, their arguments in this group debate, which is the assignment, a face-to-face assignment, before just sort of judging or evaluating them, that I could actually be part of the shaping of their work. So why did I want to use this in particular? I wanted to view their work before they presented. Entrusting 20 minutes or even a little more, a little less of your class time to a group presentation, and I think as many folks know, it can either really succeed or it can really feel like a waste of our time and of students' time. And so I really wanted a way to comment on student work as it was progressing, and really also support them. And I often let them know, I say, imagine me as a additional group member, I'm here to help you. So transparency for me was really important, and accountability for the students I thought was really important. I could tell what was going on. So why were these tools important for students? As you know, our students are really busy. They have multiple jobs, they're multiple classes. It was one place for them to collaborate online, communicate. They could divide the tasks, assess each other's work, and really sort of use this work. So it's a 100-level course, identities, gender, race, and sexuality. I have them take a Supreme Court case or even a lower court case, and essentially it's a debate. It's a face-to-face debate in the class during class time. And it's a role play in some ways, where they're taking on justices' opinions, but they're also integrating many of the theories and the readings that we're doing into their debates and their arguments. So it's really, it fits the course objective, one of the course objectives, which is to really construct and evaluate arguments, right? Okay, they also have a handout that they have to do. Okay, so this is a screenshot of the tools that are available. Certainly, as faculty, you can pick and choose which tools are useful to you. My students certainly picked and chose which tools they were going to use, even though I incentivized them with points. Sometimes they just ignored that anyway. It depended. But this is an overview of some of the tools that are available to you. I liked the group tasks function. In part, it was another way for me to see, one, to scaffold a major assignment in the course, right? This is the different types of work that students will be doing. Each, there's going to be a majority presenter, minority presenter of the court case, if you will, right? Who's going to work on the handout? There's going to be multiple folks, and just to assign the tasks. I could also see, as you can see here, some folks haven't started their task. I can see who has started the task. I can check in with them and ask them, Happy, how's it going? I see you haven't started your task yet. Is there something going on? Can I help you with it? Of course, there's group discussion boards. That's private just for the group themselves to really, as you can see here, say work on the handout or their arguments. I stayed off of these boards. Really, I sort of glanced here and there, but if they had a direct question to me, they would send it to me separately. But this, to me, the blog was the most important, or what I would call a workspace, was the most important tool for me in this assignment, because I asked them to start posting their arguments before they presented in class. And so, as you can see here, this student was presenting a minority position, and you have peers commenting on their work, pointing out that they're missing some of the readings that would have been really applicable here. And it was where I could go and see what they were doing with their debate, and at what stage they were in their debate. And so it's a long, you can't see in this screenshot because it's just one argument, but imagine being able to scroll down and see all of the arguments that were going to be presented that day in the group. And that was very useful to me. So I would comment on these boards. I still do. This is a class still happening this semester. And it was really useful. I also used the Wiki tool for them to have sort of live, real-time collaboration on the handout. And I've had mixed success with that. Some students have been able to really use it effectively, and others not so much. One thing I really liked about the Wiki function was that I could see, like this is the first draft of a handout, and then I can't click on this link, of course, but if you could, you would be able to see the revised work, right? So the student, started the draft. They had peer edits, and then I can see what the final draft is going to look like. This tool I use regularly, which is for them to communicate with each other, but also for me to send them a quick note and say, your presentation's on Tuesday, and this is what I see so far, and these are my concerns, and this is where I think things are going really well, and don't forget to come see me during office hours if you'd like to practice, and I'm happy to, go, one-on-one with you with your arguments before this debate. And they take me up on it, which is really great. Finally, I use the journal tool, which is a private way to communicate between the group members and myself, their evaluations. What worked well in the debate, where was some room that they thought they could improve, and I'm asking them this semester to evaluate the group tools as well as part of this project for them to give me feedback. I think there's a few things that I've learned in doing this project. One thing I've learned is that, for example, sometimes a student group will just ignore everything I have built for them and just use Facebook or chatting. And even though I assign points as part of the assignment and using some of these tools, that it may or may not actually happen. That was one group anyway. And maybe they just prefer it. That's fine. But it certainly circumvented my attempts at supporting them in that assignment. One thing I've learned, that I will do for next semester certainly is to assign due dates for using some of those tools in advance. I'm sure, as you know, a lot of folks do things last minute. I'd like to have them actually rate each other's arguments, maybe make it more integrated here, and some low stakes assessment, I think, of individuals would be very useful. So, and finally, my point here would be that the tools that I'm using for this traditional face-to-face assignment, this debate, they're supplemental tools, right? They complement the work. I think they've really enhanced the work that I've seen in the class even already, but it doesn't replace the office hours visits and the one-on-one that I've had with students, the check-ins. And that's it.